Hey guys, welcome back. This is section 4 of chapter 6. I'm not sure, this video might have 2 parts. I'm not sure how long it's going to be, but there's basically 3 things I want to do to our project. I want to actually, well, let's just open it up first. That would help. So let's start the Rails server. Open up Chrome. Okay, do some organization. So we want to go to localhost 3000. And here's our app, our blog. So the 3 things I want to do is, first of all, I want to get this search working. Second, this here is just static. We want the author's name here. And then finally we want some comments. I'm actually going to get rid of this link because the comments are going to be on the show page right underneath the post. And we'll also have a form there as well. So let's get started. Let's tackle this search first. So what we're going to use for the search is a gem called Metasearch. It's one of the most popular and easiest search gems to work with. It's a full text search. So what we want to do first is add it. We want to add the gem to our gem file. So let's go to our project files and open up the gem file. And we just want to add right under, we can do it right under the active admin. We just want gem Metasearch. Make sure you have those in quotes. So save that, and then we want to go to a new command line, not the server. And we want to do a bundle install. Alright, so now the gem's installed. I guess I can tell you a little bit about how Metasearch works. It adds full text search to any resource we want. In this case, it's going to be the posts. And what it does is it'll wrap the post active record model, and it'll provide us methods that will allow us to build up search conditions against that model, against the post model. And then there's a few extra form helpers that we can use to sort and supply multiple parameters to our conditions. It sounds harder than it really is. So the first thing we want to do, well, the second thing after we install the gem, is we want to go to our controller. Okay, we want to go to our post controller, and that's in the app folder, controllers, and post controller. And what we want to edit is the index action. This shouldn't be here, this test variable. So right now we have a post variable that's getting all posts for us. Alright, so above this I want to create a search variable, and that's going to go to post.search, and then we want our param. We want the search parameter, and this is what Metasearch allows us to do, is use this syntax. And then we don't want post to go to simply post all. We want it to go to search all now. So that should be it for the index action. Yeah, that looks good. So if we save that, now what we want to do is actually take away this HTML search box, which is just just a placeholder really, and put it in a dynamic Ruby search box. So we need to go to our app folder and then views, and then in partials you'll see a sidebar HTML file, and you can see we have the form right here. It's just a standard HTML form. I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to grab and paste in the Ruby form that we need to use, which isn't very long and it's not very difficult to understand. So what it does is it adds a form, and we give this variable f to use within this block, in this form block, and we defined it as a text field, just like we did in whatever other forms we've done in this app. But what we want to add in is this right here, this symbol right here, which is title or body contains. And what this means is, in our post model or our post table, we have a title and we have a body and we have some other stuff, but the title and the body is all we want to search for. We want a full text search in those two fields, so in those two columns. And this is the syntax we use, which is really very self-explanatory. We want to search this text field for whatever we put in the text field, and we want to search the title or the body for that. So if we put in car in the text field, it's going to search the title and or the body for car, and it'll give us the posts back that have the word car in the title and the body. So that's all this does. So if we save this and reload, it's not going to work yet. And the reason it's doing this is, since this is in a partial, it's not right in the post controller, the post view. If it was, then this would be enough, but it's in a partial, so we actually have to claim it in the core application controller. So we need to go to our controllers, and the application controller is the root of all the ones we created. All these controls extend the application, so we want to put some stuff in the core application controller. And just like we did with all posts and all categories, because our sidebar also had categories and posts, and we had to add these helper methods. Except we're not going to add a helper method, we're going to add this before filter. And then we just want to create a method. We'll call it site search, and then we just want to create that method. And in that, we want to pretty much grab this right here, the post controller index, the same thing. We can paste it in there, except we want to change the post variable. We don't want to, if we leave this at post, it's going to cause some issues for us in Active Admin and in some other areas. So we just want to change this to search posts, and that should be good. So if we save that and then we go back and reload, alright, so now it's coming up. You can see the search button move down here. We can just go in and edit the CSS real quick. So we would go in the app folder and then assets, style sheets, application CSS. We'll open that with Notepad. And remember, this is a pre-made template, so it has some stuff in here that we don't need. We don't really need any of these right here. The search text, search submit, we're not using that. So we just want our search div, and then we want the input, but we only want the text input. We don't want the button, the submit button. So we would do type text, and then let's give it a width of 180. See if that fixes it. Alright, so now we have the search box, and we can give it a shot now, but I don't think it's gonna work yet. Yeah, alright, so it is working. you can see what happened here is we search for the word updated, and remember we're searching the body and the title. Granted, these bodies aren't very long, but that's what it's doing, and it found updated in the title. So if we clear it out, it'll show all our posts. If we search for the word, let's search for hello world, and then we get this post because it found the hello world. So now we have a full search on our site, full text search. And let me see what I want to do now. Hopefully we have enough time. I want to get rid of this someone text, and I want it to display the user that created the blog post. So we actually got to change around the active admin, the admin users table of our database that it created when we installed Active Admin. So if we go to our admin interface, let's just admin, and we want to log in. Now it automatically creates this admin users table for us, and we can view it. We can see all the fields it gives us. Alright, and it gives us an ID, an email, and the email works as our login or our username, and it gives us some statistics here, but it doesn't give us a name. It doesn't give us a username or just a name in general. So what I want to do is add a name column to this table. So we want to open up our command line, and we're going to regenerate the admin user table. So let's go to our sites, and what we want to do is we want to generate a migration. So we'll do Rails G migration, and we're going to do add name to add name to admin user. And we're going to add, it's going to be name, it's going to be called name, and it's going to be a string. So you can see what it's doing. It says it. That's what I love about Ruby on Rails, is that it's so it explains everything that it's going to do. I mean, it's going to add the name field to the admin user table or model. So let's run that. Alright, so that ran. So we gotta do the rake db migrate, or because it's not actually there yet. The table's not actually there yet until we run this command. Alright, so that went well. So if we go into our directory in our DB folder, migrate, we can actually see the migration file right here. Hold on a second. And this is what it did. It added the column. It added name, which is a string, to admin users. So now, we're not in the clear yet. If we go back, let's go back to our admin dashboard and then admin users, and if we click view, you can see down here it created the name, it created the field, the column name, but if we edit, you don't see a name field here. If we add a new one, you don't see a name here. So we have to actually go into the configuration files for Active Admin to display that. So if we go to app, admin, and we want to go to admin user, alright, so the index, we want to add the name column here. So hold on one second. We just want to add a name so that it'll display in the index view. So if we just do column email, change that to name, and then the form down here, if we just copy this, we can do this and just change this to name. Okay. If we save that, now if we go back, admin users, you can see it has this name column, and we can edit my account and add my name. So, one second, what's this? Can't mass assign protected attribute. Oh, we have to go to the model. If we go to the app models and go to admin user, we have to actually just add in name. It basically has to be registered here or it's not going to work out for us. So if we save that and reload, we're back. And it's asking us, well, I guess we don't, I guess I'll put in my password just in case. I'm not sure why it did that, but log back in. Alright, so now you can see it has my name down here. See? So that's how we can add fields to our user table or our user model. If we go to posts, now we want, if you remember, we have in our post table or our post model, we have an author ID field or an author field. We want to change that to be the admin user ID field. So we do that by going into our models, app models, and if we open up our posts, we actually need to add in the association. You remember we did that a few chapters back. So we have posts, and a post will belong to a user. It belongs to a category, but it'll also belong to a user, because a category has many posts and a user has many posts, which we'll do next. So we want to say belongs to, and we want to put admin user because that's the name of the table. It's not just user. And save that, and then go into the admin user model. We can go to the admin user and do a has many. We want to do has many posts. Save that and reload here. Now what I want to do is I want the post table, I want it to show the user name, the author's name. So if we go into our other active admin configuration file, which is an app admin, and we want to go into the posts table, and you can see we edited the label to say blog post instead of post. This is where you can do a lot of different types of configurations and customizations. And if we want to edit this table and all this, this is the index view. So we just need to do index do, create a block here, and then we can define which fields we want in this table. And I'm just going to actually copy and paste because we're running out of time here. Might have to continue this in another video. So, and you can change the headings here. We want the admin user resource, but we want the column heading to say author. So if we save that, we go back and refresh. Now the author isn't there because we haven't added it to our post yet. You can see if we go to edit, we get an undefined method. That's right, we didn't change the field author ID to admin user ID, which we have to do. So we can do that very easily with Peer Guardian. So let me open that. That's our, remember, that's our database tool. Just trying to find it. Not Peer Guardian, PG Admin. and connect to our database. My Ruby blog, and we can go to schemas, public, and our tables. You can see our tables right here. And I apologize if this is a little confusing if you're not familiar with database structure, but this pgadmin is probably the easiest way to do it. I mean, we could do it in the command line, but this is probably the easiest. So you can see here, if we click on posts and columns, it shows us all our columns. We have the author ID. Now our app is looking for admin user ID, so we just need to change that. We can just go to properties and change it to admin user ID. Okay, and if we go back and reload, now we have this admin user, and it actually shows all our users. So I'll choose myself for this post and update it. Alright, so can't match. Oh, I'm sorry, we have to go back to the model now. We have to go to the admin user. I'm sorry, not the admin user, the post model, which is an app models post. And you can see we have the author ID here. We just want to change that as well. And I apologize for this, to having to do all this. It's just something that happens as you go along when you're programming. So if we save that, alright, so now we have our user. If we go to blog posts, and let's actually create a user. If we go to admin users and create a new user, we'll just say John Smith. Email is whatever, John at Yahoo. Password. Alright, so we have some restrictions on our passwords. So now we have a new user. So now if we go back to posts and we edit a post, we can choose John. We'll just give everybody an author. Whoop, I clicked new post. Alright, update that. So now we have a really nice interface that we can create posts and users and all kinds of stuff. Alright, so that looks good. The last thing I want to do is on the dashboard, I want to add an author column here as well. So we need to go to app admin dashboard. So I'm just going to copy and paste here because there's quite a bit of code and this video is over what I wanted it to be already. So in the recent posts, I'm just going to paste in these columns, and the only difference is I added this author column. So if I save that and then we reload the dashboard, then we have all our authors here, and we can click on them. They're clickable, and we can see all the information about that author. And I'm going to stop this video here, and in the next part what we'll do is have it updated in the front end as well, which will be much easier than what we just did. And finally we'll add in some comment functionality so we can have comments on our posts, and that should be it. So I'll see you in the next part.